Hi, Jane. Can I ask something in the meanwhile? There's a point that I'm wondering. You have told us that the real guys can stop anything if they want, and you have told us that you are facing the top lines too. And I was wondering why you just, with the awareness that you have, why don't you stop all the tap lines that is happening for you? And the second question is, why doesn't the guys stop the tap lines for us, for the new student, to have less problems?
Mr. Sajad, it's very simple, and that is that we have these tap lines because we keep agreeing, and so yeah, they can take them away, uh, but then you go right back and you keep agreeing to them, so you keep getting them. So it's not that everything can just be erased. It can be, but uh, you just start all over again and you bring them back in. So until you learn to see how this works, well, these things in a way actually help you see more. In other words, you're motivated. So if everything was taken away and everything was done for you, then you would really have no motivation to do anything except just hang around and do whatever. It's like a person that's a child that's raised. I've seen these people where they're raised and their parents have everything, give them everything, and they really don't have a whole lot of motivation to do anything. And so, yes, we ask these questions: why this, why that? It is a struggle in creation. Yes, it's a heck of a struggle. But as you get through it, you'll see these agreements that you make. You're constantly making them. I see it. I have a personal self too. You have 5 bodies you have to deal with, and this is how it is in creation. And so until you can articulate and recognize your real awareness, then it's going through all of this constantly. Now, on the real side, they can take some of the tap lines away. They can adjust things accordingly. It's kind of like your parents helping you, pay for your college, but they're not going to do the homework for you. They're not going to drive to college. They're not going to do all these things that you need to do yourself that ties you into the system. You have to do that. You have to struggle with that. If everything was done for you, then what would you do? You'd just go out there and play and just be funny and wouldn't even care about life or anything. So again, uh, these tap lines, so to speak, it's not that they're good or bad. It's like karma. It's not that it's good or bad. These are just things that we're involved in here and we have to deal with it. And just like the environment that's taking place, how bad it is, well, it's a real wake up call, isn't it? And still, people aren't paying attention. And so they wonder why they're tap line. Well, they keep agreeing with the demise of the world. So, the just like you're not going to go and pick up all the trash on the beach because other people keep throwing trash there, are you? No, you're not going to do that. And the boys aren't going to just keep taking people's tap lines off because they keep agreeing to the same old stuff. They got to figure it out. So this is where you become more aware. You want to focus on becoming more aware and seeing how you can adjust these things. This is where you do it. Just like you live on your own right now and you don't look to your parents anymore, maybe you do to support you. No, you're supporting yourself. And so this is where it gets very real. This is where we're more than the spiritual past and all these other things where people are passive. This is where you get real. And this is why there's only a few people here, because most people don't want to face what's going on. They want to pretend that it's not what it really is. So, yes, the tap lines can come and go according to you. You decide which ones you want, which ones you don't want. And you can get help, but if you keep pulling them back, well, then the boys are not going to keep taking them away. So, okay.
I'm continuing agreeing to these taplines until I get more aware about these and stop agreeing to these taplines. Well, I think I'm getting understanding it. Uh, I have another question. As you know, I was practicing Reiki before I started the New You and the Real Guides, and you've told me that the Reiki was top line, and not just the Reiki, most of the healing systems, healing methods, and the other things are top line, and I saw them too. That the words, the mantras, all of them were top line, and they just called the reptilians. But in the meantime that I was the new student, I learned from the real guys some methods, some new methods, or some new methods uh, to work on myself, to heal myself. For example, Rebozar gave me some energy to work with, and my real self and the other real guys teach me some other methods so I can use it for myself and for other people that I'm told to do. For example, one of my new friend isn't in a good mood, and
Numan,
I realized that I can
Numan,
help her with
I'm
that
gonna leave the sound with kids.
energies. But when I ask you uh, later, you told that we don't need healings and something like that. So I came to this point that do we really need to work on ourselves with whatever we know? For example, someone uses his will, someone uses his desire, someone uses, for example, this energy, someone uses whatever the guide taught them. For example, I read one of the new students' experience that uh, she was taught how to help her sister with the energies coming through her real you. Uh, she, it was a German new student, and so I had experienced the same. And also another of my Persian friend, her name is Sima. uh, she had learned in her dreams that she can heal her ears with the energies that is flowing through her hands. So now I'm asking you, is it correct or is it some kind of new tap lines or maybe is it right? And the real guys are teaching us how to work on ourselves with a new way.
Yeah, that's the idea. So when I said about the healing, the idea is that uh, you know people look to go to others to be healed, which is understandable. Yes, we do get help from others, but the bigger picture is that we eventually learn to do these things for ourselves. So it's like this: do the real guides go to doctors? So what I'm saying is that keep focusing on how you can do it yourself, and yes, in the meantime you're going to use other things. But what most people do is that they rely on something else outside of themselves to do this. It's like the Christians are waiting for Jesus to come and heal them and do all these things or save them, etc. Well, yeah, there can be assistance there, but the complete package, in other words, the total you, no, you have to learn to do that yourself. So in the meantime, you're actually dealing with others, which is fine, but it's a limited source because it's your real awareness that takes care of everything. So as you focus on just of the things of this world, well, then it becomes so. Okay, so you take vitamins, you eat healthy and whatever, that's fine. But that will only go so far. So if that's all you have, then that's you are the effect of that, because that's cause and effect. So what I'm saying, I'm always pointing to the individual, to their awareness, to their real awareness, and that is eventually when you have the awareness, yes, then you can take care of these things. But while you have the five bodies, you still have to deal with it. And so some of these so-called sciences and Reiki, I've known some people in this, and they actually, their energies were depleted. So it just depends upon the person doing it too, etc. So there's variables with it. So you have to see that things in creation are limited. So you decide how you're going to focus on your real awareness and stand real with that, or just continue to go back and forth with all these things. And again, in the meantime, I use certain things too, enough to get by, but I'm not adamant on it, etc. We promote some of these things just to let people know as steps. It's like your dreams. It's like your dream visions. That is not the ultimate. The real side is not the ultimate. It is the recognition of the isness and standing real with that 100%. How do you do that? So again, these are steps we go through. And actually, once you know how to do that, you don't need dreams anymore. You don't need this real side thing. It's all an isness. It's all here and now. But in the meantime, we do these things. So in the meantime, yes. At first, if the person is won't look to fixing themselves, then yeah, then it's recommended. Even the boys will say, well, go to the doctor and listen to him. So again, you're going to learn, aren't you? That doesn't mean you're going to get the perfect answer just go because you go talk to the doctor and the doctor gives you pills. Okay, so because the individual is not interested in learning it themselves or whatever, so the boys will even say, well, go to the doctor or pray to your God, whatever, because if that's what you want to do. And so you decide a step at a time how self-sufficient you want to be. Overall, no, you don't need any of these things because it's your real awareness. With your real awareness, you're no longer the effect. So eventually you can stand in that. In the meantime, yes, you do these things, but realistically, no, you don't need any of this because you've done this for lifetimes. And the idea is that you just keep doing the same thing. You just keep rotating in these lifetimes and healing yourself. You hurt yourself, you heal yourself. You just go back and forth. That's because you haven't had the opportunity to finally recognize who you really are. You've had the ideas of soul and saviors and gods and all these things and mantras and all these things are cute, which is understandable. But life is new now. So all those things instantly, because of the new nowness that's brought forward, those things become something of a reference. That's all not a reality anymore because they're all limited. So yes, you are the decider. You decide how you're going to go about doing this. I focus on the real awareness with the isness. That's my focus, and recognizing that, etc. So again, most people can't do that. I get it. So, but you can keep attempting until you do. But again, so most people will go to the secondary things instead of taking the risk. It's like people I've known that if they have cancers, they go to chemo because the doctor tells them to go to chemo. Well, I've seen them and they all die. Now, there's one lady that I know, she didn't, and she's fine. She figured it out for herself. She took herbs, etc., and she bypassed the karmic cancer. You see, so it's taking the risk, but it's going to be different for each person. Sometimes, you have to do that. But if you really learn to focus and see more with your real awareness, all of a sudden it will appear. You see. And that becomes the challenge and adventure. Will you do it? Well, most people will go with the standards. They'll just go to the doctor or they'll go to a healer or something like that. And yes, we all use those things. I've used them myself, etc. And psychics and whatever to see things and seers, etc. Yes, I do that too. But overall, there's a focus that I have that's just very real because everything here in creation will pass. It's only going to stay temporary. And I don't try to hold it up. You see, this also is an attitude that people don't see unconsciously. They want to hold these things up. They have a doctor. They talk about their doctor as an example. Oh, I've got really a good doctor. So they feel really comfortable with that. So they put that little attitude in their subconscious, thinking that, well, if I need the doctor, he's there. Well, guess what? The doctor's only going to live here so long too. And then you got another doctor and another doctor. Is that what you want? You want to keep looking to doctors. So yes, these things with a grain of salt. But again, it's a choice. Some people want to be dependent on other things. My position and what we're doing here, sharing, is that where you become self-sufficient, but you got to figure that out, how to do that. And we have all the references to do that better than anyone else's. So again, it's a choice, it's a challenge. It takes courage to be the real risk taker, to step up and do what others don't. So yes, the healings are there if you just want to go be healed, etc. The boys can take off the tap lines. Then what? You see, you feel better about your personal life. Is the whole of life about the personal life, or is it just something that we're going through like a chicken in an eggshell? That's really what it is, isn't it? There's always a bigger picture. Do you want to see it? So there's more that is unseen than can be seen. That's the fun part. So yes, in the personal self, things are taken a particular way, and we do whatever, but it usually becomes a routine of absorption, and people forget the real position. Just like when I was in the corporation, all those people that are with Joni and Harold, hey, they don't see what we're doing. They don't want to see it because they're self-absorbed, thinking that someone else is going to do it for them. And guess what? They're not. They will end up where? Starting again, unaware, as they pass over from this place here. So while you're here, you have these few minutes to really decide something else, take the risk, bring it forward, do something real, present something real, and at the same time, yes, take care of your personal life. But I suggest, put the is first, and then your personal life. It's like whatever. Okay, so if it's not perfect, I'm not looking to be the perfect person here, but I do care about what is presented that is real and that makes sense. That goes a lot further. So, the rest of the world, they're chasing whatever, and they will keep chasing it and trying to get the perfect la la land life here and everything fixed in their life. Well, it will never happen. But we have the real cure, and that is your real awareness. Lucky you,